Clap, clap, clap.
Ben,
I
I didn't
always
hear
feel
your
like-
out loud clap, your IRL clap at all. That's a good
Because you guys
one.
are perfectly synced.
Yeah.
It's because he was doing a
You guys-
booty clap.
You guys all three hit it exactly the same frame for me, which is exactly like a second and a half after I did it.
Good.
You're like,
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And we're live too, so.
All right. And
I
we're
don't know
live.
How we're gonna beat the last intro?
And we're live. What was the
Going
last
live in
intro?
3.
Hello, listeners. This is Barely ADS, the show where we shoot from the hip.
Pow,
It's a
pow.
special musical episode. That's right. Again, we're bringing it back by popular demand where we sing absolutely everything.
Absolutely everything.
You can find us live at twitch.tv/BarelyADS. This week's band of the week is Ola Mesa. You can find them at olamesa.bandcamp.com. And if you want your band or anything on the show,
On
send
the
us an
show.
email to barelyaudacityshow@gmail.com. Get a hold of us on Twitter at barelyads.
So that's one way to do it.
You were saying
Well, we're starting off strong. Starting
Yeah,
off real
good.
strong.
you can also go to our website. By the way, Ola Mesa is a band from Akron. They're really good. Listen to them. You can go to our website, barelyads.com. From there, you can find a link to our Discord, to our
Link
I'm
to
not-
our Discord.
God.
you can find a link to our Discord and our YouTube. You can also go to patreon.com/barelyads where you can get our shows, the bonus shows, Lit Lore, and then you play D&D, Bads Rad Dads, and the Barely ADS podcast, which is different than this Barely ADS podcast. Please leave us a review on iTunes, 5 stars only. Guys, let's get into the games and never talk
Games.
about the intro again.
All right.
So about that
Sounds
intro.
Yeah.
I've-
Whoa.
Yeah.
Guys, I didn't play much of The Last of Us, I will say.
You played the least of it.
He's played the least of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
I got a bunch of my bike stuff in, rebuilt 4 wheels, took a day to swap a ton of parts around between the two, and I got a cool My Chemical Romance looking bike now, and then a very classy bike. But I did play a little bit more of The Last of Us. Yeah, it's still good. I like the game. I just like it less than bikes.
Yeah.
I think you like all games less than you like bikes.
It's true. Bikes are my passion, but so are video games because you can't always be working on your bike. Sometimes it's nighttime and you can't ride it. So what do? You play video games. So I just played a little bit of The Last of Us. Got introduced to a new faction. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Cool.
And did some not great things that my character is not very proud of.
Yeah.
Not happy about it.
Mhm.
And it was funny because I was kind of in this spot where I didn't play it for a few days and was like, yeah, maybe I'm just not super into video games right now. And then I played it again and was like, nope, this game's awesome. I love this. Like,
Mhm.
immediately was like, yeah, this is awesome. I should I want to get a shirt that says I'd rather be playing The Last of Us and just
Yeah. Yeah.
wear that
good.
around
That's
all the
so good.
time.
I mean, that's the
Uh,
case for me and Alex too, because I am 5 hours into my New Game Plus playthrough.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys have both beaten it.
Steve definitely put it in. Mm-hmm.
Well,
I
that's
finished.
good.
I rolled credits last night at like midnight, and then watched a spoiler cast, and then listened to a spoiler cast, and I couldn't sleep for a while. It took like 2-3 hours to fall asleep because I was just like trying to like
Racking your brain.
piece through everything that had
Process it
happened.
all.
Yeah.
Emotionally, not like logically, but just like.
Both.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of both in there.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
The title screen once you beat it is dope. Not gonna
Mhm.
say what it is, but yeah, there's some connotations there as well that are awesome. I really think we're getting a part 3.
No.
I don't want to hear anything about this game anymore.
No,
I
not
just-
based on
I should
anything
not
that
even
happens
be
in the
here.
game. Not based on
shouldn't
anything that
even be
happens in
here
the
right
game,
now.
but because Neil Druckmann joked that there's going to be a third one twice.
Really?
Dr. Uckman himself.
Yeah.
On
So-
the interview I watched him with, he was like, "That would be pretty hard to justify going back."
Cool.
Well, they don't have to go back to do a part 3 either.
Guys,
Ah.
you are absolutely killing me right now.
We're not talking about the happens in the game at all.
Telling me
Not
that
at all.
telling me there's like not a good chance that they're going back. Now I'm like, well, I know that there's something conclusive
Aw.
now. That kind of stuff. I hate being in a world where I prefer bicycles over The Last of Us 2. It's terrible. Everyone needed to take a few days break, okay? I wish I was on the same page.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
Well, you
you were
should,
surprised
played it.
that there's a conclusion at the end of the video game.
Yeah, I was. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes you're like, that's a cliffhanger. That's what I'm saying. You tell me you've never played the DVD Lord of the Rings movies because those are all cliffhangers.
Well, you knew there was another one coming. There was a set number of movies already.
Hey, listen, you know,
It's based on books.
you shall not pass, okay? I didn't.
I just
This
need to
isn't
hurry
a
up
game
and
I
beat it,
played,
man.
but I did do a lot of research into some games.
Oh.
Okay.
So, listeners, as you know, Alex and I were going through playing Bloodborne, and I was thinking, I was like, do I want to play Dark Souls, Demon Souls, or just go for it and get into that Sekiro? And I think that's the direction I'm leaning in, and that combat. It looks so good and it looks so punishing, and it's the stealth being so important. I wanted to get a grasp of the systems. If only we had somebody here that could give me a better grasp of these systems. You know what I mean? Quack, have you been
Interesting.
playing Sekiro?
I did, and we talked about it earlier in the week. What I did is first I started up Jedi Fallen Order, and I played like an hour and a half of it because I was like, I know Ben and Alex have been talking about Sekiro, so I'll just start when they start. And then after I went to sit down and go play Jedi Fallen Order again, I was like, why am I just teasing myself with something that's not the real thing? And just booted up Sekiro. And I think I've got like 2 hours in. I haven't played a lot. Got through the first like boss that drops an item, but the stealth is definitely the way to go. The first time I tried to go out and like just pull one enemy in, it alerted all of the other enemies in the vicinity because they like talk to each other more than in Dark Souls or Bloodborne. So you have to like stealth up, get a kill, go hide, get another person, and pick off the areas instead of just I feel like a lot of the old ones were kind of try and get one person to chase you and kite them backwards away from the
Yeah.
group and kill them.
Definitely.
Whereas now it's like you got to
A lot of
move
spawn
around the
baiting.
map with the elevation because you got the prosthetic arm. So the verticality in the game is a really big departure from both
That sounds very
Dark
different.
Souls and the Bloodborne game. And so far, it's played right up my alley because it relies, at least I feel like, a lot on dodging rather than parrying. Parries are strong, but I've always been more of a dodge-oriented player than a parry-oriented player. That's why Bloodborne was so hard for me to pick up.
Well, see, and then from the videos I watched today, I've heard that you will not always be able to do dodges. That they said that like dodging, blocking, and parrying and jumping. They were like, depending on the enemy, you have to utilize
They're
one
all
of these.
Yeah.
They're like, it's going to be changing all the time. And they essentially, what I found out was there's always a way that From Software wants you to do it in
Mhm.
Sekiro, and that you should do that. Like stuff like use an axe to break the shield, like that kind of stuff. So
Interesting.
because that was my thing. I was kind of looking at all the games, and I was like, I I feel like with Bloodborne, I'm at this great middle point of like aggressive combat, but Souls like combat. And I could either slow it down by going to Dark Souls, or I could go hit the gas and play Sekiro and just get good, which would make going to Dark Souls very strange. But I digress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also in the video. It was crazy, Alex. I saw it's like a modest size arena. One guy saw, and everyone like turned around and like started like running up towards you. And like
Yeah,
I
it's a
saw like
very different
six
approach.
people coming at them at once, and the guy was just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and die because this is not winnable."
Right.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of like Assassin's Creed elements when like you're hiding in the bushes waiting for everyone to go back to their patrol routes and stuff like that. And I was like, this is cool. It's especially
Okay.
I didn't know if I wanted to go back onto slimy demon beasts. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
But
It's
at least
like
this game is bright.
Yeah,
Right.
and you get the big like Japanese spirits and
Mhm.
big samurais. It's a big departure from knights and monsters.
So what would you say is the biggest change between Sekiro and other Soulsborne stuff?
You don't have as many upgrades. Killing individual enemies doesn't really drop anything. Sometimes they'll have loot that you can pick up that's like money for buying items and stuff. But the way you upgrade is by getting prayer beads, which you get by killing like mini bosses or bosses. And once you get enough of those, you can make stat increases. But there's fewer stats than the Dark Souls and Bloodborne games. So it's a little more pared down. If the combat wasn't so brutal, I'd say it was like beginners From Software game, just because they've cleaned up
Systems are
so much of the
lax.
stuff. Yeah, which I don't know because I'm not far enough in to know, but I wonder how that affects different builds at the end game, whether it's not as varied with fewer stats or what that looks
Yeah.
like. But
See,
that'll
That
be
was kind of
something to
how
keep an eye
my
on.
take on it. Yeah, it was that this it's the thing that was really intimidating about Bloodborne when I got into it was there was a lot of the stat building stuff and being like, what? How do I know what I'm investing in is going to be useful down the road? Blah blah blah.
hmm
And from what I
How much do
understand,
I put here? How much do I put there?
right, exactly.
And the prayer beads seem to answer one of the biggest complaints I had about Bloodborne, which was that the difficult. It seemed like they couldn't tailor the difficulty because you could overlevel. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like I felt that there were some fights that I went into and was like, this is probably a really cool fight, but I just whipped its ass. You know what I mean? So I feel like that addresses that, which I kind of wanted a more tailored experience out of the game. So I'm excited. I think that's what I was going to ask you before the show, Alex. Is do we go Dark Souls or Sekiro? And I think
hmm
that Quack. I think you've answered that question.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I mean I did do a little bit of I started looking a little bit at Dark Souls 3 today, or not today, but earlier this week. I watched some people playing it, and my first thought was, that looks pretty cool.
It does. They both.
So
I mean, I'm excited to finish The Last of Us because I want to go back to From Software games. Like
yeah,
this whole genre that I've never really experienced.
for
Yeah.
sure. Doesn't isn't there no stamina in Sekiro?
No, there is
Oh,
something that's called
Posture.
posture,
Hmm.
and your posture fills up when you are blocking or parrying, I think. And if you do it too much, your posture will break and you fall down, and they can basically visceral you. But then on the
Oh.
flip side, you are trying to wear down the other person's posture. So a lot of times it's hard to get clean strikes on the enemy. But what you're trying to do is avoid their attack and then get something in, even if they block it, because you're always making a little bit of progress. And once you break their posture, you can do basically the same as like a visceral from the other games.
Yeah,
They call it like a kill strike or something. And most enemies
Mhm.
die in one, but some of the bosses will have multiple little health orbs that it shows up top.
Mhm.
And so once you get the bar all the way down for their health, you can hit the kill strike, and then they get another bar of health. And
almost like a phase.
yeah,
type situation.
yeah,
And like parrying, like or deflecting or something like that. One of them reduces how much of your meter goes down and increases their meter by a lot. So it's like very
Interesting.
helpful to do that.
I think it's parries.
Yeah. And then I don't know. It seems like a really cool system. And then also, if you stop attacking, their meter just starts like decreasing. So you need to like stay on someone. If you
Oh, wow.
run away and try and like get your bearings, you're gonna lose out. So it
Yep.
seems
How
like
much
a thing where,
parallel?
well, I was
do
gonna say
you
it just
see-
seems like
yeah.
weird with like healing and attacking. Like it seems more aggressive than Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Right. Mhm. Well, what kind of do you see any parallels between like the stagger system and FF7 and it? I know it's like way more pared down, but like in the sense
Yeah.
that certain things you do can put them into will affect their
Yeah.
posture breaking more so than others.
Yeah. I think it just because the combat isn't as like varied as far as spells and weapons and
Of
stuff like
course,
that.
yeah.
It's not quite the same, but in a similar manner, in that like getting a deflect does increase their meter, staying aggressive on them keeps it high, attacking keeps it high, and so you have to juggle attacking, blocking, and dodging to keep them high and get those kill shots. Because actual physical attacks, even if you land them clean, don't do a ton of damage. It's really those big kill shots that that get you the money there, and those are the same things that you do out of stealth. And so basically, stealth is just shortcutting, taking that posture meter all the way up.
Cool. I'm excited. What else have you been playing?
The normal Rocket League. I have continued to bounce in high diamond and can't crack into champ yet, but that's the way she goes. One of my real life friends wanted to play, and I think he has maybe 20 hours in the game. So he had kind of a bad time playing with me, and I felt bad because he was like, every single time I don't touch the ball, we get scored on. It's like, yep, that's what happens. Then played a little Destiny too, just pinnacle stuff. Trying to get my light level high enough. I'd like to go do the dungeon, which I haven't really been playing enough to get close, but I'll get there eventually. And then I had an itch to play a card game, and I didn't feel like booting up Magic the Gathering, so I tried out Gwent, and it's pretty fun. It's just like in The Witcher, just a little pared down, only 2 rows instead of 3, and an expanded deck. So
Admiral Nips just like sat up whenever he was doing. He was just like, huh?
I knew that was going to be your reaction, and then I knew that'd be his too. We see you, Nips.
Yep.
Eyeballs. Cool.
Yeah.
Steve, you just The Last of Us.
Just The Last of Us.
grinding it.
Quote, just, because it's, well, like,
That's right.
you get to a point and you're just like, I want more. And you just, it's like, from like halfway, it's like a snowball effect, steadily building and building and building and building, where you just want to get to the next part, where like, oh, I think this is going to happen. And then you keep going and you're like, okay, it happened, but it's not over yet. Okay. Or can you keep going? And like, I don't know. So those, like, I was playing in like 3-4 hour chunks, and then it turned into like 6 hour chunks. And then there was like probably an 8 or 9 hour chunk in there. And it just, it takes you for a ride, man. It's fantastic. I don't think there's going to be
shirts.
Huh?
So shirts, I'd rather be playing The Last of Us.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
That's good.
I can't see a game coming out that is going to be better for this year. This is going to be GOTY for sure.
See, that's what I was going to ask you, was since we can't really discuss the game too much, which, by the way, we will be doing a spoiler cast at the point in which
I feel like we
beat
might
the game.
already be
Ben, you need to hurry up.
getting dangerous here.
And Quack, if
I'm
you decide to
working
start
on
it, you probably get it done before Ben does.
I have like 3 hours a night that I can play that game just
I know.
starting tomorrow.
great.
So
It's not really
Yeah,
that long.
well.
25, 26 hours in there.
I'm Alex, I got, through the hospital, okay? Day 3, I think.
On day 3?
Or 2.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's a day.
It's a
But
day.
do we think this, or is Cyberpunk still coming out this year?
It is, but
It's
not
still
till
coming out this year.
November now. So it's going to be like a Smash Brothers situation.
It could
I
be,
didn't-
or
I'm
recency
cheating,
bias might if it's included, recency bias might be a thing, or it might just flat out be a better game.
Well, I looked at our headlines. I don't see if we talked about the Night City Wire thing.
It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We can talk
We'll
about
get-
it now. I mean, it's integrated. We're talking about
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, everything I saw looked pretty badass.
Yeah.
From that stuff, including like a lot of the coverage that went out. That being said, I mean, it looks amazing. It looks neat. I think the world's cool. There's no way that the acting's better.
No.
Period.
And like,
no.
there's no way they're great at creating worlds. They're great at writing stories. They're not.
Absolutely, it's going to
Not-
be an amazing world.
They're
Yeah.
not Naughty Dog good though.
You know what's funny is we had God of War versus Red Dead 2,
Yeah.
and then now we're doing The Last of Us versus Cyberpunk, and I'm just like, yeah,
No, it's similar.
A Sony exclusive story game versus an open world game.
Yep.
And then, but
Yeah.
it's funny because there's these two, like both times I feel like there are these titans battling it out for a game of the year. And then last year it was like, what came out?
I guess
don't know.
Control was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Sekiro won last year.
Yeah,
Did
but
it?
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
I'm probably gonna
anybody's
complain and
game
be like,
last
"How?"
year. This
It was
year
anybody's
it's
game.
not.
It was
Yeah.
Control,
But
Sekiro. There's a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah. Those are all great games.
There is
too.
still a
It's
sleeper
not my
that we
favorite.
don't know yet, and that's Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
That has a ton of potential, and we still really have no idea what kind of story that's going to have.
That's Sucker Punch, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to take the third place spot. I'm going to call it. It's going to be.
third.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
I
very
don't know.
interesting. Yeah.
From what I mean, I played Infamous Second Son, and that was the only Sucker Punch game I played. It was
Mhm.
good. It wasn't like fantastic.
No.
I mean,
It was a fun playthrough.
yeah, it was an action movie. You know, it was watching Transformers. You're like, this
Yeah.
is enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I don't see Ghost of Tsushima being like, holy shit, but
For
it
sure.
looks cool. I'm totally
looks
going
Yeah,
beautiful.
but you don't see
Yeah.
it, but it could be. When you see Infamous Second Son for the first time, you're like, that's not going to be an amazing story.
Are you
But
kidding me? Delson Rowe, the dude wears a sick denim vest.
that's
No.
the best part of this story. Is his outfit.
Also, have you done the thing where you turn the controller sideways and use it as a spray can? It's awesome.
I
game is
have
actually
heard
really
that's
fun.
cool. But yeah,
It
so
is very cool.
we know they can do fun gameplay, but like this is them slowing it down, taking a little bit more serious approach, and trying to create a piece of art. So we still really
I've been
don't
pretty
know
into.
what we're gonna get.
I've been pretty into most companies that feel like they're growing up with me. You know, I
Mhm.
and I don't know if I'm just really receptive to that because of nostalgia and shit, but like, it generally works for me. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to think of one that really flopped the bed. I'm sure there is, but
But if we have 3 games,
Sony specifically has been just destroying it with this.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, yeah, like to be fair, some people call their stuff samey, and maybe, but if it's all amazing and fantastic, that's fine.
what
Hey, man,
third
people
person
listen to
story
metal.
driven like action games?
Yeah, right.
People listen to metal bands and they all sound the same, but you know, it doesn't mean a bunch of a good song is still a bunch of good songs.
Exactly. That's how I
Yeah.
feel.
And that's what I
Even
was
if
going
they
to
also-
say about Game of the Year conversations is if we have a discussion, if it's really up to like you don't know who's going to get it between Last of Us Part 2, Cyberpunk, and maybe Ghost of Tsushima, that's a good problem to have. You know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a real good problem.
That's a great problem to have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. There's no winners or losers in this. It's just winners because it means we had a bunch of good games.
Yeah.
Exactly.
like-
And we weren't even talking about Final Fantasy, and I thought for sure that was
Yeah.
going to be my goatee.
No, it seems like that's like not a chance at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, while
it's
we're
totally
on
fine for
Cyberpunk.
sure, but
Let's get into the
Yeah.
news on it. Alex,
Yeah.
you
Oh, yeah.
watched it, right?
yeah.
I
I watched a little bit of it. Things that I wrote down: the Badlands look really cool, and I wasn't expecting to get like a Mad Max-y kind of environment where you get to go out on a motorcycle and a car.
Was
And
that like
Fuck
some
with
weird
convoys?
like side mode?
no, I think it's just you can get in a car, and when you drive out of the
Really?
city,
Okay.
There's
And that's kind of the thing.
outskirts in a Badlands.
So it doesn't seem like this is not like one big seamless open world game. Was from what I've gathered, it like is like large hub basically
Yeah,
because
I mean,
and
Witcher
I don't
was
think that was
pretty
really
much that way too.
exactly when you think about it. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be massive if you look at what The Witcher did, and it's
Yeah,
not actually open world. Blah blah blah. You know, it's still a freaking open
yeah.
world and it's massive. So
Because I
I
mean,
imagine it's gonna
going
be
to
that, but it's gonna
Novigrad
be
was
tall,
loading
right?
screens.
Like
Yeah.
exactly. So I feel like it's not going to be nearly as wide, but the verticality, and that's what everyone was talking about, was just like how it affects combat. But I'm sure it, affects exploration and all that, so, and will be hard to really get a grasp of until we see it in action.
I just think of the
Hard to see how
cities
tall things
in,
are.
like in The Witcher, almost every building you could go into and talk to people.
Yeah,
And so if it's a skyscraper city and you can go in most of the buildings, you don't even need it to be that big to have crazy amounts of detail. And
crazy.
they're
Detail,
going to have
right.
some underground stuff where you're like going in the sewers where there's the junkies and whatever. You got to have something like that.
Oh yeah,
So I'm really excited for it. Everything looked stellar, just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And their quest
Yeah.
direction with Witcher was always fantastic. They had side quests that were better than entire games.
yeah. That's the part I'm not worried about, which is so relieving. Like I know that the story and the motivations behind my actions are going to feel good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is
I
like so
love-
important for those kinds of games, I think.
One of my favorite parts about Night City is the fact that people walk around that city with other people. Because I don't know how many games I played where it's a city full of people, all of them by themselves.
Right.
All loners.
Looking at you,
Yeah, it's
GTA.
No,
so
it did
weird.
look really good.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Assassin's Creed had groups. Yeah, but that group was an entire entity. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Right. And
like,
and two of them had the same clothes on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we
Yeah.
noticed that shit.
I'm so excited. I feel like this is one of the first times I'm going to be walking through a city and feel like it's actually alive.
Exactly. Yeah. Which, I mean, I feel like I've been saying that more and more in the last year and a half or so. Like they're figuring that out, you know, and this is going to be the best example of it.
How to make a
Situation, sure.
world feel lived in a video game.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yep.
They do that in The Last of Us too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
What did you
But
guys
also,
think
like,
of the big cyborg guy, Atom Smasher?
Yeah, he was
Oh,
intimidating.
man. It looks like a character I would be if I could create a character.
Yeah.
I was like,
I want there to be a big showdown with that guy because
Oh, I'm sure.
he looks so bad.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I'm pretty excited. I'm not like I've done some of my research on this game, but it's like one of those. It's like so massive and intimidating to like where to even start to like pick this apart because they've even the way they parse out the information is pretty dense as well. So I'm excited just to see what hasn't really translated is how any of it feels, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm really curious about. You know,
Well, the gameplay is a big question mark for me.
yeah,
They had like review copies
Mhm.
go out that are like just the intro or prologue or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a
So I
demo
haven't looked at
basically.
what any of it is, but I want to watch some gameplay of it, just like a long gameplay session.
right. Like
Yeah.
one uninterrupted like 30-minute chunk. There's because in the Nightwire there was a lot to look at, a lot going on, but like it was hard to get it's hard to
Yeah.
get all of the context. It was more than we've gotten before, but still, a lot
Yeah.
of that is important. I heard mixed things. I've heard one person say the driving it feels really good, and everybody else I've heard say that the driving did not feel great. So,
Well, driving
that's a
Roach
question mark.
in Witcher did not feel great, to be honest. If you weren't following a road, it was a little weird going. And
imagine to be fair though, at the time, I remember thinking that was particularly good.
yeah,
Horse
well,
physics,
the
right?
game
Like-
before that had been Red Dead Redemption 1, which was like,
Correct,
how do I
yeah.
not run into every single tree?
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
God, if
It was
I
funny looking
had
back.
a nickel for every time my dad laughed at me for playing Red Dead or GTA and hitting something with my car or horse.
Yeah.
It was always a
Oh, yeah.
situation where it's like, well, you try it. Anyway, they're going to make a cyberpunk anime. They partnered with a company called Trigger, and we
People
didn't
are
really
hyped
see
for that,
anything except for just one still at the end.
Yeah.
Everybody that I've heard that likes anime likes that Trigger Studio a lot. So
Yeah, Trigger
people
is
are jazzed.
fantastic.
What have they done?
I'm pretty excited for it.
Kill la
I
Kill,
believe they did
right?
Kill a Kill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Did they do
and
something
some
for
other
Netflix?
stuff.
So it's like
Yeah, I think so.
darling studio for people who are really into anime.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
sounds tight. Mhm.
Kill a Kill, Darling in the Franks, Kinsnaver, Little Witch Academy.
I heard of that one. That one's supposed to be really good.
So
Yeah.
seems neat, and I think like no one it surprised the fan base pretty hard. It seems like so. It's a good positive spin so
Yeah.
far.
CD Projekt
Their
Red,
animation is always fantastic. So
they're turning into
Hey,
a conglomerate with Witcher on Netflix and now
Right.
an anime.
yep.
Speaking of GTA, one group of sentences ago, GTA Online is flooding with new players and it's causing chaos. From Cass
Uh-oh.
Marshall at Polygon, it seems like giving the game away for free worked pretty well. It's a fun game. More people should play GTA Online.
Yeah. I
It's
guess
very fun.
there's a lot of griefing happening with veteran players having like all the things and like
Yeah.
just dunking on the new players who don't have anything.
That's what GTA is. You just grief people the entire time.
Yeah.
There's a reason that they had to make a mode where nobody could touch you. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Plans revealed for Disco Elysium TV series from James Batchelor at gamesindustry.biz. It will be produced by the co-producer of Sonic the Hedgehog. Quack.
I don't know how I feel about this one, and I feel like this is going to be a hard one to nail because so much of what made that game great was exploring the inner workings of the character that you were and like developing yourself as that character. And I don't know how well that can come across in a TV format. But the atmosphere is cool. The music was great in that game, and the world was deep and interesting and had a lot to say politically. So I think that they've got a launching pad to make something good.
I'm interested because I heard that Disco Elysium got some flack for how do I say it? Kind of using cheap tricks to be edgy, like being like, hey, if you just have somebody in here being a blatant racist, that's just like kind of offensive to start. So I'm opinions aside on that, I'm curious to see how they tackle some of the terrible people that are in that game.
Yeah, I think it's a game that presents you with a lot of extremes of viewpoints because you do see like the wild racists from multiple different angles, but you also see incredibly strong union people who are talking about how they want everyone that's not in the union to get fucked. And it's an area that is very anti-police, and you're showing up as the police, and the union kind of tells you like, this is our territory. There's investigators coming from conglomerates that are very pro-business. The whole thought system, you've got little kids that are little shit stains doing meth all the time. Like, it's a crazy world, and it has lots of extremes. So I can see where, like, oh, well, that's just for a cheap, like, emotional response. But I mean, a lot of the stuff they do gets an emotional response that doesn't rely on being like, hey, look at this gigantic racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested to see how they tackle it. Last of Us 2 sells $4 million copies. Brendan Sinclair at gamesindustry.biz. This beats out Spider-Man as the fastest selling first party PS4 exclusive with 4 million sold in 3 days. It's a good game.
Yes. Very, very, very good.
Microsoft is closing all but 4 retail stores. This story from Brendan Sinclair at gamesindustry.biz. I don't even think I've ever seen a Microsoft store.
Me neither. And there's only going to be one in the United States, and it's wherever Microsoft is located on the West Coast, because it's not near Seattle like everybody else. I think it's closer to San Francisco.
Is this
Yeah.
where you buy the box?
It's where they have all their like goofy stuff. There's like think Apple Store not done as well with Microsoft stuff.
Can I buy a Windows phone?
Probably.
Do they still make those?
NBA 2K20 and Rise of Tomb Raider are July's PS Plus games. There's an additional one in there too. They have a bonus game. Did anybody catch what that one was?
Yeah, it's in the notes.
Cool.
Erica?
Erica.
Oh yeah, sorry, Erica. 10 years of PS Plus. Valorant's ranked mode has been delayed while Riot fixes bugs. This story from Morgan Park at PC Gamer. I can only imagine that somebody's upset about this.
It ended up coming out a couple days after, but on the day where patch came out and there was supposed to be ranked, they were like, oops, there's still a couple bugs, so no ranked. And I think it was the next day or 2 days later it came out, but people were pretty peeved that they couldn't play ranked yet.
Listeners, if you could send me clips on Twitter of streamers acting like children because of ranked mode not being there, I would appreciate it. I like
That'd be great. Yeah,
All right. Now into some real stories.
the deeper stuff. Yeah, like
The
this
deep
one.
stuff.
Twitch suspends Donald Trump's channel for hateful conduct. This is from Brendan Sinclair at GamesIndustry.biz. The block occurred today, which is Monday, and a Twitch spokesperson told GamesIndustry.biz that, quote, hateful conduct is not allowed on Twitch. So in line with our policies, President Trump's channel has been issued a temporary suspension from Twitch for comments made on stream, and the offending content has been removed. There were two particular comments. One was from a rally in 2016, the one where he called all Mexicans like rapists and drug dealers, that one. And then the other one was from a rally in Tulsa earlier this month.
See, I could have sworn it was when he was playing Fortnite and made those horrible comments about Armenian children.
I really couldn't keep him straight. So I did not know that Donald Trump was on Twitch, but I just
Oh yeah, he's
Well,
been grinding Minecraft late at night. It's really
Yeah.
really good to get in and watch Donald play Minecraft.
watch him own the plebes.
So, not too much to say about that. More on Twitch later. But first, Admiral Nips wrote in with a question. Ubisoft is reportedly making a battle royale. Are you interested? Don't know yet. Ubisoft's new battle royale shooter, Hyperscape, leaks online. This from Charlie Hall at Polygon. We'll answer Nips' question in a second. The game appears to be a free-to-play battle royale first-person shooter set in a futuristic virtual world. It will launch on PC and consoles with full crossplay. It's being built with streamers in mind and will include, quote, never seen levels of integration with Twitch. Supposedly, chat functionality will be able to impact live games. And the game is being developed by Ubisoft Montreal, who made Rainbow Six Siege and Assassin's Creed. I'm interested, for sure.
I'm not.
No?
I'm interested only because of that last line you put in there, because I trust Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed people. But I'm not gonna
If I'm going to
go
play a
out my
battle
way to play
royale, I'm going to play with a first-person shooter developer I like, so probably Respawn. And I'm going to play Apex or I'm going to play Warzone because that's the only other one that's really ever grasped me for more than 13 seconds.
Yeah,
That's
See,
it's not really my genre.
I was gonna ask you earlier. I got an email from the Hunt Showdown team, and I was like, oh, I remember Hunt Showdown. I wonder if Quack would want to play Hunt Showdown. Now I know he doesn't.
Well, I've heard. I mean, that one at least seems pretty intense. I've watched some stuff on it. It's at least a pretty unique type of experience.
It is.
But
It's
I haven't
pretty
seen a
fun.
whole lot on that.
Hunt Showdown. It feels like 4 teams of 2 are playing Left 4 Dead on the same map.
right, it's a different type of experience than your standard
Hmm.
VR. Where
Yeah.
and like the overview I watched was Skill Ups, and he really went into how the sound design makes that game on a level that's like not many games are really doing.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty wild.
if you're not playing that game with headphones, you're missing like half the game.
Oh.
It's very
Stuff like that.
difficult to play as far as like I don't know about you guys, but whenever I play a horror game, I'm like real slow about doing anything. So like
Mhm.
imagine it's a battle royale where you it's a horror battle royale, so you got to kind of move fast still.
Mm.
But the bosses are cool. The point is you just kill 2 bosses and get out. And if you get out with your money, then you can buy more upgrades and go in with better stuff the next time. But if you die, then it's gone.
You start from scratch.
It's pretty interesting.
It's like a
That does not
reverse-
sound like what this game is, but I bet you that the Twitch integration stuff has the potential to be good, and
or a gimmick.
maybe that other people will learn. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's half and half.
Yeah.
It'll probably be fine, because of the studios behind it.
Yeah.
I'll see when it comes out if it looks like something aesthetically that looks cool or is fast paced, because I like fast paced shooters usually. Then I might give it a go.
This is already an oversaturated market as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah, they're
I would,
pretty late to the
I
game.
could, like if I'm not already playing Apex or Call or Warzone, I'm
Call
down
of
with
Duty.
a pull up a third.
All right. This is not a fun story, but Twitch responds to somebody clicking right here in the Google Docs and making me not be able to see anything. Twitch responds to sexual abuse accusations and bans several streamers. This from Richard Lawler at Engadget. Twitch has been looking into sexual harassment allegations that began coming out about a week ago. And since they've begun their hunt, they've banned several streamers, including Bless RNG, Wolf21, Warwitch TV, I Am Spoon, and also Dr. Disrespect has been perma-banned, but we don't know why.
Did we talk about Rage last week?
Yeah, Say No to Rage. He has not been banned yet.
No. 'Cause we,
Oh,
yeah.
But this is good. Take out the trash. Get rid of it.
yeah.
sure.
Twitch has been a pretty scummy platform for a while now. And there's still a lot of pretty scummy people who make up a lot of viewership. And I think this is something where Twitch is being reactive instead of proactive. And
Agreed.
I think in another year, we're going to see more of this and probably even bigger and worse, because Twitch is not going to go after it at its root, and it's not going to go after users who are doing it. And so it's just going to keep breeding.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a band-aid.
It's frustrating.
Absolutely.
But I mean,
All you can do is call it out, right? So
yeah.
try to
For
be the
sure.
change you want to see.
All right. Speaking of change, D&D is trying to move away from racial stereotypes. This story from Fraser Brown at PC Gamer. It's getting rid of the concept of evil races and making changes to racial ability scores. There are a lot of ties between racial stereotypes in D&D or fantasy as a whole and in real life, and Wizards of the Coast is trying to move away from that. So, Steve, Quack, you guys are both big D&D players. Alex and I are more of, dabblers.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about this?
Well, I think it's a good thing because, like, the drow, it comes to mind immediately. Always bad
Yeah.
in every kind of fantasy thing. And
And they have black skin.
yeah, usually
And
like
they're just
yeah,
purple black, yeah.
purple, black, blue, black.
Uh.
They're just the black version of elves, and they're always bad guys, and that's not cool. So
And even beyond that, you think to like the stereotype of like orcs, which they're automatically violent, dirty, can't take care of
Stupid.
themselves. But a lot of the things that are said about them are the same kinds of things that have been said about racial stereotypes in the real world. And it's really hard being someone from the real world to not see that and see parallels. And if you're in one of those groups where those are things you've heard about yourself in the past, it can really make D&D seem like not a friendly place when the core rule books say these people are literally always evil. Or in the case of Curse of Strahd, they have basically a ripoff of the Romani people and basically run them through every single Romani stereotype, which is a ethnic minority in Romania. So like if you're a Romani person, you're like, oh wow, this game just thinks I'm a dirty, stealing beggar. Cool.
Yeah. If you want a more, I guess it's still really nerdy, but if you want like a better visual representation of this, watch Bright on Netflix. That's basically exactly what we're talking about.
With Will Smith?
Yes.
Will Smith, all right.
Yeah. It's actually a good
Like
movie.
Will
It got a
Smith.
lot of crap, but that's probably because critics don't like fantasy that much.
But you also like every movie, but I will check out. I
No,
thought it
Bright
was
is
good.
actually it's Bad Boys.
It's
but,
fun.
But instead of what's his name?
Yeah, that's the vibe I got.
Yeah.
Should I
it's
watch Bad Boys? I've never seen any of them.
Yes, you should watch Bad
I could watch
Boys.
Bad Boys too.
Yeah, especially Bad
I'm gonna
Boys
come
2.
over there and slap the teeth out your mouth.
Have you guys seen Roadhouse?
Yes.
Okay,
Pain don't hurt.
But yeah, it's
be
it's
nice.
it's Bad Boys, but instead of Martin Lawrence, it's an orc.
All right. Well, instead of D&D, it's Ubisoft CEO. Oh, this is not a one to do like this.
Oh my gosh.
Tone shift.
Oh wait, this is sad. Hold on.
This is not jokey. Wow, how do you segue out of like making everyone
don't.
laugh and then talking about this?
Just
I
go.
tried.
Yeah.
All right, Ubisoft CEO promises to personally follow misconduct reports to execs reportedly placed on leave. Story from Joe Scrubbles at IGN.
Not a real name.
Bloomberg reports that several executives and other employees have been placed on leave until the allegations from multiple sources are investigated. Assassin's Creed Valhalla creative director Ashraf Ismail has already stepped down from his role after he was accused of engaging in extramarital affairs. So again, this story should have been like 2 more up, but
Yeah, it's still
yeah, taking
still
out the
happening.
trash.
Taking out the trash, you know.
I like the
I
This
was-
is not going to be the
that's-
last that we see of this. Like Ubisoft is not the only company that's got this shit going on.
No.
And I'm sure Ubisoft is massive. I'm sure it's not the only place. Not.
I still
like,
wanna know what
2K
happened with
is,
Riot.
Yeah, and I heard that
Yeah.
IGN has been under some scrutiny as well for the same
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Listen, we're gonna segue out again. Listener questions. This week's subtopic is brought to you by masks. Wear your damn mask. It's not to
Wear your
protect
frickin'
you;
mask.
it's to protect everyone else. Yeah. And
It's
by
literally
the
the
way,
easiest fucking thing you can do in the goddamn world.
the worst
Don't be a
thing
fucking asshole.
was that that anti-mask rally where they were chanting "I can't breathe." And I was like,
Oh,
"Go
Get
die!"
fucked.
Go
it's
fall
so bad.
in a hole of
Fuck.
spikes.
If you don't see
No.
what's wrong with that, then
I
just
hope you
start over.
experience
Press
quicksand.
reset on your life experience.
I hope you experience quicksand.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I feel like as a child, I was way more worried of quicksand than I ever could have been. Like I thought it was just
You
going
know
to be.
what?
Yeah, and I
I'm fine with
also
that.
thought that anvils were much more readily available, but that is also not true. And I'm pretty sure Acme has supplied countries with all the munitions for a war.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And
I've never
musicians.
seen a piano fall from the top of a building. Like, why
I've
did
never
cartoons
seen
tell me that
someone
was
get
a
a
thing?
piano up there. You know,
Yeah, a
Someone
lot of
has to
people
take it
moved
up there.
grand pianos.
Yeah.
A lot of ill-qualified construction workers moving grand pianos back in the day. Anyway,
All right.
All right. I've got a conspiracy theory about Dr. Disrespect. So here's what is going down. I'm pretty sure that Doc is the front facing and the money laundering guy for the mafia. And with recent developments, I'm pretty sure it's got to be the Chinese mafia because he's gone to a Chinese streaming platform and they're going to use that as a way to get him a visa out of the country before the feds can get him with the RICO Act, because he's been using all of the stream donations as a way to hide the money that he's coming in digitally
Embezzling,
from whatever this mafia is doing. I'm
Mm.
pretty sure that's what it is, and I would be very shocked if that was not the case. So, do your own research. I'm not an expert, but that's definitely what happened.
I heard
I heard it on the internet.
good old Doc. He's taking all that stream money. He's going to Acme, buying all the explosives and selling them to other countries. So
he's starting a mercenary company.
Yeah, like that movie where they sold all the guns, and Jonah Hill was in it.
Wow.
We got any other
Moneyball.
conspiracy theories?
So Scooby and Shaggy are gonna randomly show up and pull his mask off, and it's actually Wile E. Coyote.
No, it's got to be an old white guy. It was always an old white guy in this Scooby-Doo shows.
No.
Well,
He
then
didn't
they'll
let him
pull
finish.
off the Wile E. Coyote mask, and it's an old white guy.
The old man Jenkins all along.
Pull off the mask as Doc again.
Right.
Firm handshakes.
I want him to pull the mustache off, and there's just that same exact mustache underneath.
It's like that video where the guy's climbing over the car and he's got a bucket on his head, and the guy knocks the bucket off, and there's another bucket underneath that one on his head.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's just a Russian doll situation.
Mhm.
All right, Alex,
All
you have the
dots
choice.
going down.
You have the choice to send us the listener questions, or the end of the show, or to speculate about Dr. Disrespect.
No, I never watched that guy. I don't give a shit. So take us through it.
Yeah. Stop filming in bathrooms, you skis.
Yeah, don't fucking do that.
That's a real dumb idea, guy.
There's a lot of really nice, awesome people on Twitch that you should watch instead.
Indeed.
Mhm. Why would you watch someone so disrespectful, especially someone who has a medical degree in being disrespectful?
Right.
Yeah.
You know who you
It
should
sounds
watch
like you're
instead?
asking for it.
I guess a doctorate.
You should watch Real Munchie instead.
There you
That
go.
guy is a
I don't know who
fantastic
that
guy.
is, but-
And actually, he's going through a tough time right now. His full-time job is taking care of his mom, and he's real scared because he's afraid his mom's going to pass. And when that happens, his income, his home, his food is all gone because it's supplied by the government because he's taking care of his mom. So, that being said, go check out his channel. He is like one of the most kind-hearted and fun and hilarious dudes you see on Twitch. And also, there's a GoFundMe, except it's called Go Get Funding because it's British or something. I don't know. Anyway, there's a link on our Twitter. I'm also going to put a link in the show notes. But we're just trying to get him a little bit of a buffer, so that way he can stay on his feet once everything happens, and not get too far behind. So,
Yeah, I met Munchie years ago, and he's always been super nice. Always, those people that when you talk to him, they're immediately asking about how you've been, how's the family, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So
and he legitimately cares and wants to know.
yeah, he's been awesome to watch stream. He's popped into a bunch of streams. I've played a bunch of Destiny with him. He's good people. So if you wouldn't mind, help out. This is one of our own. This is one of our community. So
Yeah.
All right. Band of the week, Ola Mesa. You can find him at olamesa.bandcamp.com. You can find us at these websites: patreon.com/barelyads, barelyads.com, twitter.com/barelyads, and twitch.tv/barelyads, where we play all of your favorite video games and stream this very show that you're listening to right
Indeed.
now at about 9 p.m. God's time on Mondays. Okay?
Yes.
It's the Monday blues. The weekend's over. What are you going to do? You don't want to go to work again tomorrow. You're going to listen to Barely ADS live on Twitch at twitch.tv/barelyads. You can also send us emails to barelydestinyshow@gmail.com. Send us whatever you want. I
Yeah.
don't
We'll
care.
probably read it on the show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's talk. You want to talk? Let's talk. I
You
prefer
can
do
even
it
hit
in
us with
Discord.
the "you up" email late at night.
hmm
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'll check it. It goes right
I
to my
always
phone.
love it on
Yeah.
podcasts I watch when people send in games. So like send in a game because that's always awesome.
Yeah. Also, I've noted. I think sometimes people think that there's emails that we get that we don't read. We don't. If you write in an email, I'm asking you personally, write us an email. Get a hold of us on any of the other places I mentioned. Talk to us.
Do it.
Look, the world is still on fire. Coronavirus is rampant. Black lives still matter. It's not time to give up the fight. Remember what we're fighting for. Let's end police brutality, excessive force. Keep on pushing, everybody.
Indeed. Peace out.
Bye.
Sayonara.
All right. Alex, can you lead another clap? Por favor.
Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Man, you had like a good that was like a good funk song countdown. 3, 2, 1.
I hope you guys were still recording.
I miss playing music so fucking much.
Oh, I definitely was still recording that.
Okay, good.
Duh. What's going to be
That
crazy
show's
is when you
only-
sync both of our parts up and they're perfectly in synchronized in harmony. That's what
Yeah.
happens when you're a band for 4 years together.
Mhm.
Yep,
You think
across
it's going
the
to sound
internet.
bad. It doesn't. we know the
Transition space and
latency.
time.
You
So bad.
line up everything in the podcast, hit play, and it's just like la da dun 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 da 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 da.
It somehow syncs up with your musical bit earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's a fun episode, guys. I'm really glad that I wasn't working so I could be here.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So Alex
Yeah.
from software from July 18th to August 1st, I will be in Ohio.
Wow, that's a long time. Awesome. We can do stuff.
Yep.
So that means that I would like to get
He wants to play some shows.
no.
That's funny. So, me too.
Which episode is this?
178.
Okay.
hmm
Um,
Now we got tracking to do, boy.
yeah, I was gonna